What is up, y'all? Profitz here. Welcome back to another video, and today wanted to go over something that really just came up this week. It's a topic that I've gone over a few times in the past, I believe, in some of my other videos, but it's one that's definitely relevant no matter what strategy that you trade, no matter what instruments you trade. It doesn't matter. This is something that can anyone, I think, can relate to as long as they're participating in the market in any sort of way. And that is that you do not have to be perfect to make money. You don't have to have perfect entries. You don't have to have perfect exits, anything like that to make money. And the trade that I took this week on AUD JPY is a prime example of that. So that's why I wanted to go over it with you guys today. So just to start off here, we have AUD JPY, and this is the 1 hour time frame, and we have a nice bullish trend here. As you can see, I'm starting really basic. We have a nice bullish trend here. As you can see, we have a huge area of resistance here. We break through that, and that is why I have this line here. We also have a couple taps back here as well. So this is a pretty strong zone that was support. Then we broke through, then it became resistance, broke back through. Now we're looking to have it as support again. That is this purple rectangle right here. This is your zone of support or structure. So that we end up tapping into this support right here and then launching out of it. And I actually got in a little bit later than I wanted to. I would have liked to get in a lot closer down here near my 200. And I had alerts set, but excuse me, my phone just went off. I had my alerts set, but I was at work at the time, so I wasn't able to get in exactly when I wanted to. So it was a little bit after, a few minutes, but I was able to get in right here on this big bullish impulse. And then I wrote it out for the rest of, this was Tuesday this week, or this past week. Wrote it out. It came back to entry, and then there's a massive impulse, and this was, I believe, after rollover going into Asian session, if I remember, on Tuesday. So massive impulse, and it almost went up to my TP, which was the equal level highs, which to me has always been a safe TP area, but it didn't quite hit there, and I didn't get out early, so it ended up coming all the way back down. And now you get the actual touch of the 200 moving average, which with my strategy that I trade, that is really where you want to be entering, is either the 1 hour 200 touch or the 4 hour 50 touch, which is the same line. So if we go back here, this is the 1 hour again. If I go to the 4 hour, you can see that first time it barely missed the 4 hour 50. It went all the way up, came back down, then you get that tap. So this could have been an even better entry, which would have had the stop loss even shorter, almost cut in half. So as you can see, I did not get the best entry, but I still took the trade. The trade still made sense, and I still wanted to get in it. Also, there was a 1 hour shark fin on the TDI or RSI. Basically the same thing, they're just set up a little bit differently. And if you don't know what shark fins are or anything like that, or anything about this strategy that I trade on the higher time frames, this is my swing trading strategy, and I have videos that go into depth in that, and all these indicators I use, everything that I use to get in, entries, exits, everything like that. So go check out some of the other videos on my channel if you want to get a little bit more in-depth perspective. But this was just a great example of, I did not get the perfect entry. Obviously I could have waited, because this didn't even tap the 200. I wanted to get in because the structure was still hit, so it could have been more of a structure play rather than the moving average, which is why I got in, and it was just a few pips away, so I wasn't really too worried about it. But again, ideally I would have gotten in down here right when this structure hit, but I ended up, I couldn't see the alert fast enough, so I got in a little bit late, but that's still okay, because guess what? We still made money. I did not have a perfect entry. The ideal entry would have been right here on when this average touched, when this 200 moving average touched on the 1 hour. Then I would have had a lot shorter stop loss. I could have put it under this previous low, 20 pip stop loss and 100 pip TP. Are you kidding me? Almost a 1 to 5. That is what we want. Ideally, that is an awesome risk to reward ratio on the trade. But this is what ended up happening. I got in about right here. And ended up, again, after it touched the moving average, then it went all the way up and went to the all-time highs. Or not all-time highs, but the equal level high, which is, again, where I TP at. And here's where price is currently. It could keep going. There is some obvious structure that it could tap into up here. There's a supply zone up here. So it could end up moving almost another 100 pips up. But the equal level highs is about where I usually will take profits, and it's also usually gives me a good risk to reward ratio. But again, this was an example of you don't have to have a exact perfect entry to make money. Now, if you are scalping, it might be a little bit harder. You do have to have tighter entries, tighter stop losses, and be a little bit more precise when it comes to that. But swing trading, another thing I like about the strategy that I trade, swing trading, higher time frame trading, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily. You're using higher time frame confluences, and your entries really don't have to be perfect because you can have a little bit more room on the stop loss, and because your TPs are so large. So these massive areas that I'm looking to hit, like these equal level highs, that was 100 pips. If I would have got in where I really wanted to, it would have been almost 125 pips, about 125 pips, which would have been amazing. But either way, am I going to complain about a 100 pip trade? Absolutely not. So that was this week's trade. It ended up playing out great. Again, just wasn't a perfect entry, but I still made money. And that is something that a lot of people, I think, especially if you're swing trading, if you are waiting on the exact perfect entry, you might miss a lot of setups. And you might be really leaving a lot of money on the table overall if you are waiting for the exact perfect entry. That's why I like the strategy so much. You can wait, you can take your time with it. If you're a couple minutes early, a couple minutes late, you have the leeway. You have the time to let things play out. It's not like you're scalping and you're on the 5-minute time frame, 1-minute time frame, and if you're a couple minutes late, boom, the trade already played out, or the trade already hit stop loss. You don't have time to be a couple minutes late or a couple minutes early. Now, if you want to scalp, that is completely up to you. That is fine. I used to scalp and I had success with it, but I can't be on the charts all day anymore, so that is why I do not scalp anymore. But yeah, that was just the topic of today's video. You don't have to be perfect to make money in the markets, and again, this is for any kind of instrument, any kind of strategy. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be perfect to make money. So definitely something to think about. Now, this is not saying that you start getting careless and just saying, I think it's going to go up here, let me enter. That is not what I'm saying at all, because you will start losing money quickly if you are just placing trades willy-nilly. This was a specific trade I was looking for already, waiting for my area to be hit. My alerts went off that I had set, but I just couldn't check my phone immediately, so I ended up getting in a couple minutes late, but it still wasn't far enough to where I thought you know what, I'm not going to get in. Now, if I would have saw, so this is where I got in right about here on this big impulse. Let's say I looked at my phone and price was already all the way up here, I wouldn't have gotten in because that's way too far. That my stop loss is going to be way too large. You know, that brings my stop loss to 70 pips. My risk to reward is totally screwed. Now it's just a 1-to-1, and I don't trade 1-to-1s on this high time frame strategy. So that wouldn't have made sense for me. Again, that doesn't mean you just start getting in, hopping in. It doesn't matter if I'm early or late, I can still make money. Profitz said, no, that is not what I'm saying. So anyways, hope you guys understood the point I was trying to get across, and this really good example that was brought up this week. So hope you guys had a good trading week. Good luck on this upcoming week trading, but hopefully you got something value out of it. If you did, definitely let me know down below. Appreciate you guys. I'll see y'all in the next one.